So I work with Dr. Vince Rogers. I'm kind of at this intersection of like classical gravity and string theory and so on, but mostly I work in projective geometry.
I'm Sarah Henderson. Yeah, so I study the solar wind interaction with the Martian atmosphere. I look at particles that are directly responsible for a type of aurora at Mars, and so I use data from the Maven spacecraft to better understand how these particles interact with the atmosphere.
Hi, I'm Diksha Garg. I work with Mary Hall Reno. My research is in theoretical particle physics, specifically in studying neutrino interactions with matter.
My name is Sean Gunderson. I'm from a small town in North Dakota named Minot. It's about an hour or two from the Canadian border. I do research in hot stars, particularly using X-rays to study the dynamics of their stellar winds.
There were two main things that I was worried about. One was being away from my family for the first time. The main worry was I went to although a university, it had only about 2,500 students. So it was a very different culture than a R1 institution where there's a lot of money, a lot of students, a lot of moving parts.
I guess I was worried about two things. First was just kind of that fear of really moving away, because I was only a couple hours from my hometown, so this being now 12 hours away was a huge leap for me. But I was also kind of scared about doing independent research in astronomy because I'd really never had much exposure to it.
I had a lot of worries before I came to US. Being an international student, it was my first time leaving my home country. I was worried about the cultural shock, speaking English all the time, not knowing anyone, not having any friends. It did dissipate over time.
I feel really lucky to have Jasper as an advisor. He gets as involved as you need him to, and so I think he really caters to his students in terms of their needs. For me, it's a pretty hands-off relationship, but when I have questions, he's always there to answer.
I work with Dr. Ken Gailey, and working with him is great because he gives me a lot of freedom to explore how to solve problems. He'll prod me in the right direction, but he tries not to constrain what I do. He wants me to figure stuff out on my own so he doesn't bias it with any preconceived notions he has.
When I was taking courses in my first year, every professor had 1 to 2 hours of office hours, which was very helpful for your homework problems or any questions or concepts that you wanted to be cleared.
I feel like with the various groups that we have between GSAC, Grad Math, Women in Physics, things like that, we've really tried to foster an inclusive environment, and I feel like graduate students are really involved. We're super friendly with one another, and that's one thing I really enjoy about the environment is that it's not cutthroat. People are not trying to one-up each other.
I think the department's great to be in because of how much the professors care about us as grad students. The fact that we got rid of the qualifying exam really shows that they care about their students succeeding, and they want to look now at just yearly progression instead of just check boxes to note that you've passed this test, you've gotten this milestone. It's much better about seeing how each person is doing.
I would say the thing that I do like the most is how many trails there are through the city and that they're actually well kept. There's some great restaurants around here. I do like eating. Having a river run right through town is kind of nice.
I really like living in Iowa City. There's always something going around here. There are so many university clubs that you could join based on the hobbies that you have.
One of the nice things about coming here and being here is that the cost of living is a lot better than where a lot of the really good schools are. So our stipends can really go a long way with paying for rent and actually being able to put money away at the end of the month.
Graduate students are a critical part of the research we do as faculty here at the University of Iowa in the Physics and Astronomy department. We think of our students as our colleagues, and we're always trying to make the climate more inclusive and more welcoming. Students do have access to the cutting-edge research we do here in the department, but we also want them to have fun in a supportive environment while they earn their degree. We are excited to welcome the 2023 class of graduate students.